What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn, and we are live. Flip with Rick. We're talking today how to make that 25K a month with no BS starting in 2026. And listen, I know you guys got a lot going on today. You got family, you got gifts, you got Christmas. I don't know if, I don't know. I'm the only guy like left working. But the thing is, I want you to understand, please don't give up on the year, because what you do now is going to catapult you and set you into 2026. So, um, do me a favor. If you're watching this live, you watch it recorded, take the lesson I'm going to teach you today, because I'm always going to show up. So if I'm willing to show up all during the holidays and do everything, you should show up too. So today we're going to talk about the direction wholesaling is heading in 2026 and how to get that money, get that 25K a month consistently, nonstop. And for those of you that had the joy of wholesaling in 2025, I'm going to take the lessons away from you, because I've been doing this almost 24 years now. And I'm going to show you what's going to work to get you that 25K in 2026. And like, kind of importantly, is to show you what didn't work in 2025. And there's plenty of things I tried that didn't work. But I'm going to teach you the core of wholesaling, and we're going to have fun today. So what I want to do is I'm going to do a presentation. We're going to go down memory lane. So we're going to do like an old classic of Charles Dickens, where we walk through and see the stuff that didn't work. And I want you to learn, you can't go into 2026, because you guys are going to be bombarded with more crap of marketing products done for you than ever. And if you haven't learned by now, I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you the proof in the pudding, and you guys can give me your opinion. And then what we'll do is I'll put a link up here. We'll hop on, we'll share some salutations for 2025, and we'll talk and we'll have fun. Because listen, I know a lot of you guys are occupied. So what I want to do is kind of bribe you guys into this live stream. I know you got a lot going on. And if you click on that link and you come on, we'll do a mastermind. We'll talk, and maybe we'll talk about 2026. We'll talk about what worked in 2025, what didn't work, and we'll just have fun with this type of deal. So kind of keep it light today. We'll have fun with it. But guys, wholesaling is a business. And for those of you going in 2025, we really got to ramp it up. So I put on my brightest shirt today. I don't know what the hell. This is the American flag. It's very bright. It's heavy as hell. Full disclosure, it's my 4th of July shirt, but I use it for working out too. And I wanted you to make sure you guys could see me. So I'm a patriotic American. I do love the Christmas time. And this is a great time to spend time with your family and take the gift of gratitude. Be appreciative of everything you have, because you don't know if it can go away in a blink. So live life to the best of your ability today, and plan for the incredible future that wholesaling is going to provide for you and your family. So without further ado, what I will do, I'm going to wait a few minutes to get people on here, and I'll put the link up in the comments. If you guys do me a favor, you've got the comment section. Reach out there. Guys, it's okay to say Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We got to stop being like so politically correct. We're scared to like offend anybody. So I don't care what you celebrate, as long as you celebrate your family and wholesaling, I'm on your side. So give her a holler out. And then if you guys want to hop on, I will put a link in the comments, and we'll keep this kind of spicy and live today. And I'll talk about anything, man. I'll open it up. Okay. That's interesting. I gotta find a way to mute that. I'll do that later. So holler to you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, everything else going on. And this is a great time to be alive in the United States, in my opinion, specifically in wholesaling. So let's talk about it. Who wants to go down the Charles Dickens, the ghost of wholesaling in 2025? Because I'd like to kind of do a little recap. I'm not going to call people out. I'm just going to call out industry issues that, in my opinion, have completely fallen apart. So if we can do that, and then we'll focus on what we need to do going into 2026. I believe there's an extremely valuable lesson. So if you have a question, do me a favor, make sure you put in the comments, introduce yourself. For God's sakes, make a wholesaling friend while you're here. This is a lonely business. I'm the first to tell you it. I went through this business when there was no real internet, no forums, no nothing. It was the most isolating thing I think I ever put myself through, but it was extremely rewarding in the end because that isolation taught me to work at a completely different level than the average person. So please stop comparing yourself to everybody online because that is not a great comparison. Most people are just trying to get by and they're average. So when someone goes, oh, the whole thing doesn't work and do that, it's because they have their old mentality. And you have to shift that going in the wholesaling, really any business. If you want to be average, just go get a regular job. God knows I've tried it. I sucked at it. It's terrible. But if you want to have unlimited opportunities, you're going to have to pay a price. Nobody gets that far without paying some sort of price. You got to put in a lot of time and energy. And why would wholesaling be any different? So let's jump on. Let's do it, man. Merry Christmas, everybody hopping on here. And let's go. Okay. So first and foremost, let me start with this. Let me just start with this. In 2026, the year of wholesaling fundamentals will rule. I'm telling you, the only thing that's going to work in 2026 if you understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. And I'm going to be honest with you, this industry has gotten so messed up since 2013 on. Really from 2016, 17, the wheels came off. Everything that was non-wholesaling was introduced to you as a wholesaling gimmick, marketing product. And that, you don't believe me? Let's go back. If I had an entire staff with a studio, there'd be smoke screens and we'd be going back in time. But I just want you to kind of envision and trail it. And let's go back to the wholesaling past of 2025. And why don't we do this? Let's review the lack of fundamentals in 2025, because I've never seen it worse than it was from 2019 really to 2025. But you're seeing a reckoning. And I want you to tell you the reason I'm doing this, it's not to bash any other industries. I have no beef with any gurus or anything. Let's just look at what works and what didn't work in 2025. And I specifically would love to get your guys' comments on this because it's not just my opinion. And I want you to understand. And when you find the lessons in what works and what doesn't, number one, it doesn't make you a victim of a very, very terrible product. So we all know about how buying the bells and whistles happens. We want to fix that. So let's start off. And by the way, there's no order here. And I'm not calling out anybody's specific product. I went with extreme generic names. You guys, you can think whatever names you want. You can post them. I don't give a crap. But these are things that I would never do in my business because I'm not going to waste my time. Why? Because they don't work. So let's give honorable mention. Who do you guys want to do first? Well, if you guys want to even anticipate it, you can start. You can start putting in the comments because we're going to try to have fun with this as best we humanly can. So if I don't use it, guys, you sure the heck shouldn't be using it. Now, I can't stop you from doing it. You can do whatever you want. But I'm just telling you, if I'm not going to do it, I strongly suggest you not doing it. So let's start off with honorable mentions. Novations. Do you guys realize Novations has zero to do with wholesaling? Novations is not this special technique. A novation is when you take one contract and replace it with another. The problem with novations is it's been taught to you as a particular wholesaling strategy. It's not. It has nothing to do with it. And number two, a true novation, you replace a legitimate contract with a newer legitimate contract because it's what's the best thing to do for the homeowner and the buyer. The problem is most of the novations you guys are being presented, it seems to solve a particular marketing problem for you. Let me just phrase it for you. Are you tired of wholesaling? Are you tired of competing with all the other wholesalers? Are you tired of making low offers and getting rejected? What if you could pay retail for a property, never pay for it, and then put it on MLS and sell it for full price and make $100,000? Novations. Okay. That I got to tell you, that pitch sounds super sexy. There's so many problems. I honestly, I don't even know where to start. If you guys want to start in the comments, I'm not saying you can't do a novation, but I'm telling you, I have done them. Now, I've done them naturally over the last 24 years. Sometimes you just have to replace one contract with another one because it's the right thing to do, because the seller's facing foreclosure, the bill stacked up to it, and you got someone who will pay a little bit more and you just get out of the way. That's 9 times out of 10 while I do a novation. But somehow novations decided to bring in all this paperwork. Here's the fundamental problem with a novation. Number one, you're not replacing a contract. You're manipulating a contract. What do I mean? You're writing a contract with the homeowner with full intentions of never, ever even slightly honoring that contract other than in mind. Okay? Call it an inducement, whatever you want. It's a fake contract. Nobody ever closes on that first contract. If the contract's never legitimate and you're never going to close on it, it means it's never a contract in play. That contract's what we call a placeholder to try to control the seller. And I don't know about you, but partnering up with a distressed homeowner is one of the worst strategies I've ever heard of in my life. I'm not saying you can't make money on novations, but the more you do them, the more likely you are to get sued. Let me, and anybody who wants to share a story or a comment on here to do it, knock it out. So let me explain for those of you guys who don't understand what novations is. I find a homeowner that won't take my wholesale price. Maybe the house needs some work. Maybe they're semi-motivated, but they're unrealistic on price. Now, right off the bat, that tells you you have a difficult seller. They won't accept the truth about their property. But if you pay them more, they'll do business with you. Oh, well, then I don't have to do this wholesaling thing. I can do other. You're right. You're not wholesaling anymore. You're going 100% into speculation. And here's how it typically goes. Say you offer them, you agree to give them $220,000 for the house. You write up your fake contract because you're never going to close on it. And if it ever gets in the eyes of the court, you're going to have a problem with it because it's fake. 9 times out of 10, you don't even leave an EMD. You haven't even run the title on the thing. It's complete BS contract. Then you try to mentally obligate that homeowner to $200,000. And then you say, I tell you what, we're going to bring someone and do some repairs. Who's going to fund the repairs? Oh, you are. Oh, you're going to get a special lender, whatever. Even if you don't do the repairs, by the way, you do the repairs, you're at massive risk because these things have more than 50% failure ratio. So whatever, you get funds, someone does it, or you get a cash buyer. Say your cash buyer goes, I'll go ahead and do those repairs now. And then whatever, we'll partner up and then we'll sell the property. Okay, so let me get this right. Say there's no repairs. Say you just got to clean the property up, $200,000, and say you put it on MLS for like $300,000. Say in the perfect world, someone agrees to pay the $300,000. Here's the challenge with this. You ready for this? Remember, the homeowner would not accept your wholesale deal because they thought the price was too low. So they made you go to a price and make you pay the high price. Now you got to go find someone else even dumber to pay more than you. You go to MLS, you find someone. I go back to this, like I said, great news. We have a buyer for your house. That's awesome. Okay. Here's all I need you to do. You know that contract we did before the two? We just need to void that out. And remember, we're going to split the difference above what it was. Oh, yeah. You slip that new contract that says $300,000. Do you, honestly, guys, do you think that homeowner is going to freak out when they see $100,000 difference? 100%. There is going to be a problem. More than half of them want all that money. They think you should get a little bit, but you shouldn't be entitled to half of it. So now what happens if they don't agree to sign that new contract? Your deal's over. And that's where most of them end, guys. And this is the biggest problem. Not only that, you have to get them to sign a power of attorney that says whatever, limited power of attorney, it says that you are doing a fiduciary responsibility. Let me ask. If your fiduciary responsibilities to the homeowner, how can you bring in another buyer and make $100,000 profit off of them? If you ever sat in the court, a lawyer would eat you alive. Oh, I got the paperwork, Rick. And then my favorite part is, how do you expect to get paid that 100 grand? I want to hear, because you're going to have a finance transaction to get that high price. And then here's how they're going to tell you how you're going to get paid on an artificial lien, another fake thing, another fake contract. And here's the problem with it. You can't place a lien on a wholesaler's assignment fee. It's illegal. You can't. You have to provide a service in advance to get paid and record a lien against the property. So title companies are so tired of getting in the middle of lawsuits on it that, like in the state of Florida, if you have a power of attorney with a lien that's less than 6 months old or a year, they're not even going to touch your deal because they already know what you're doing. And all it does is take one pissed off homeowner to take you out on this stuff. Does everybody understand that? It has nothing to do with wholesaling. People are trying to build entire businesses around it. Why? The endless amount of courses. There's actually podcasts on this. And what's happened since this big rush of novations? There's no more course sales on it. Title companies and attorneys really don't want to touch it, and homeowners are very aware of the power of attorney issue. So if you want to build a business on fake cards, go for it. Do your fake contract, do your fake lien, because if you ever get called to the plate, even after a successful transaction, you are going to be 100% liable. So I'm dealing with multiple properties that I'm buying from failed novations. It is plagued across the entire country. If you guys have not got the memo, I'm not saying you can't do it. I don't believe you can build a business out of it. That's why you have to sell courses on it. And there's nobody that has. Show me somebody in the country. I'm 100% novations. It's all I do, and I make a killing, and I have no legal issues. Yeah, you're going to be falling on deaf ears. I promise you. So, guys, the novations have come and gone. The writing's on the wall. It was a fad. I'm fine if you have to replace the contract naturally. Say the fees on like the lawyer and the foreclosure got too high, and you were waiting with your contract, and you go, listen, I can't pay that amount, but I tell you what, I have someone who'll pay a little bit more. Maybe you even get a little fee off of it. That's a natural novation, and that's what they're designed for. But somehow we decided to manipulate, create a course, record all these documents. And if this isn't bad enough, with a over 50% failure ratio, think about this. What are you going to do on those failed ones when you have a recorded power of attorney, you got a recorded lien, and you got a fake contract? You're going to cloud the seller's title, and guess what? You are going to get sued for it. And a lawyer will eat you alive because you've caused damages to the seller. And here's what I have two right now. We're having trouble getting the wholesaler to cancel the power of attorney and the lien. And so now I have to sue them to clear it on behalf of the homeowner with the homeowner's involvement. And the homeowner's not nice about it. And the lawyers told us, if you would like to file for damage, you can easily get 30 grand from them for defamation of title. Do you see the problems with novations, guys? But none of this stuff is ever shared in the course with you. And that's my challenge with this business is you only get the good stuff. You don't get the bad stuff. And it drives me nuts. So guys, I'm telling you right now, you won't see novations going into 2026. You can still do them naturally, but this thing where you're going to build an entire business around it because you don't want to wholesale, it has nothing to do with wholesaling. And if you take this strategy, the writing's on the wall. You're a sprinter. You're not a marathon person in wholesaling, and you're not going to survive. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Awesome. I'm going to put the link up here. So I believe in a first come, first served basis. So, and I agree with it. The whole thing with the whole thing with with the novations. I mean, does it sound super sexy in theory, right, Mark? It sounds so perfect, but it doesn't work. Hey, Mark, I think we're coming out to Vegas in January, so I'll give you a holler out. It sounds so perfect, but that's what a good marketer does. They give you a pitch that sounds so perfect to solve your problem, but the problem is it doesn't deliver the goods. And that's what drives me nuts on it. So guys, I listen, if you need to replace a contract and it works out for all parties involved, go for it. But if you're going to build an entire business on fake contracts, fake liens, and BS power of attorneys and wonder why you're spinning your wheels, this isn't just my opinion. Find most of the legitimate wholesalers, they don't mess with it because it's such the amount of drama and innovation is beyond me. How do you want to do that conversation when you switch the contracts for 100,000? Do you really think they're just going to let you keep that 100 grand? They're not. They're going to expect most of it. And then if you don't, they're going to wind up suing you and they're going to leverage you and you're going to work for free. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next ghost of 2025 wholesaling. As I said, there's no order in how this goes, but we have to do it. The agent reach out, whatever you want to call it, agent touch, whatever it is. This is basically the strategy. And I've watched this really for the last 2 or 3 years. It's finally died off. And the reason why a lot of these strategies die off, guys, because they don't work. They sell a crap load of courses. And then once the course sales wind down, why do they wind down? Because it doesn't work. They can't get one positive review on it. This is the art when you go on MLS and you reach out to real estate agents and say, listen, I want to wholesale your deal. Now, I want you to think of the fundamentals of this right off the bat. Now, most people that pitch this are licensed real estate agents that churned wholesalers. It's cute. It's so sweet. I love you guys, but it's like you're putting on a fake suit when you do this. At what point did you think that a property on market that you're not direct to the seller, that only wants to sell, you think would be a great wholesale deal? I'll wait because the crickets are out. It is the most abusive strategy I've ever seen. I'm not saying you can't do deals with real estate agents, but taking a brand new person that's never done a wholesale deal and go, hey, call these 500 agents and pitch them that you're going to wholesale their deal. Honestly, I'd rather take like a pin and gouge it in the side of my forehead or take a hammer and hit my knee 50 times. Honestly, it's going to be less painful. Who on earth thought this strategy would work? I bet the success rate is 1 out of 1,000 at best, maybe 1 out of 500. There are deals on MLS. They are not for rookies, and you can't just call a million agents. I guess if you call enough, you're going to eventually find one, but I guarantee at best it's going to be a marginal deal. Remember, we got Hatfield McCoy with the real estate agents. Am I right? It's always been that, guys. It's always been that way. I'm going on 24 years. Realtors do not like wholesalers. They are trained in their training. We are bad for business, although we actually provide them a ton of business. And wholesalers can't stand that they can't work with real estate agents because they think wholesaling is illegal. And is there ever going to be a truce? I don't know. I believe this battle has been going on. I believe this battle has been going on since I think it's been going on forever, but I think it really fueled up around 2011, 12, when the market really dropped and it came back up. Because wholesalers are the only people that could move properties from 2009 to 11. Now, guys, that was the fundamental strategy of going on MLS and finding motivated sellers. The only time I've seen in 24 years is 2009, 10, and 11. There was a 3-year run. I did a lot of properties off there. It wasn't hard to do. But here's the reality is I took that same effort and did my regular marketing on government list. I did direct mail, everything. Those deals were still 10 times better than anything on the MLS. Does everybody understand me? Do you really think reaching out to real estate agents is going to blow your business up? Yeah, it's live, Prism. Yeah, it's live. He wants to know if it's live. It's 5:31 Eastern time, Tuesday, December 23rd. Is that good enough for you? Dude, I show up. I could be doing a million other things. If I'm going to teach you to be disciplined and consistent, why wouldn't I be in here shooting a video for you guys. So I do, and I love it. You should call everybody out on it. I should have put on there the fake live. That was the next one, right? Anyways, I already told you the formula to achieve success in wholesaling. It's ODN. It's really that simple. Why? It's simplistic and it works and it's got 24 years experience. Off market. If it's off market, you have less competition and you have a clear path to get the deal done. Direct to seller. It means you can talk to the seller and get the story directly from them. You want to get behind the symptom of the real estate. Your property is vacant. Why is it vacant? My husband lost his job and we're having a tough time. Okay, I want to help you out. You see how you got to get, I can't get that story from a realtor. They're only interested in the price and that's it and how fast I'll close. And then the last one is the N stands for needs to sell. You see, everybody wants to sell their house, right? For the right price, I'll sell it for anything. But who needs to sell? And if you hit on all three of those, you'll have an amazing wholesale deal. You have the best shot. If you get 2 out of the 3, you got a good shot. 1 out of 3, you're probably toast. If you get 0 out of 3, you have 0 shot of ever getting the deal. Do you see how I took 24 years of experience and just simplified it? I give you clarity. I tell you what the expectation is. Most of you are too busy chasing around people who want to sell the house. That's what agent outreach is all about. Reach out, whatever you want to call it. Now, it sounds perfect in theory. Am I correct? Sounds perfect. I just go on MLS. I get the phone number. I get the pictures. I get the price. Piece of cake. No, these contracts most of them are non-assignable. They want big fat EMD deposits and they want a proof of funds and they'll give you 3 to 7 days to inspect the property. Guys, how can I build a business out of that? I'm not saying you can't get deals from realtors. You're much better off learning the fundamentals of wholesaling and then working with realtors. Here's how I suggest working with realtors so you know. Stop calling realtors and ask them for every expired listing, which isn't the worst strategy. I'll be honest with you, if that's the way I'm going to go. But why don't you just reach out to realtors, form a relationship with them and go, listen, I don't want you to call me on every property. I want you to sell them for retail. But if you have that property, it just doesn't quite fit the bill. They go, what do you mean, Rick? Like it's ugly, it's nasty, beat up rental properties, or maybe a divorce gone bad or something like that. Give me a call. I'll give you a cash offer and pay your full commission. That's it. And if they call me 2 or 3 times a year, I'm perfectly fine. But most of you go, give me everything. Give me you're tired, you're weak. And what do the realtors do? They give it to you. And then you want to know how we create this Hatfield McCoy. You never deliver. And they're expecting you to buy the properties for retail because you did not ask the right quality questions to work with the realtor. And that's the challenge with it. Everybody understand that? So train your realtors, form a relationship and go, listen, when you get that butt ugly house that you know is never going to pass inspection, call me. I'll give you a cash offer. It works out for everyone. I'll pay your full commission. And that way you can get the property done. Remember, most real estate agents aren't experienced dealing with pure cash buyers. They're mostly asphyxiated on finding conventional buyers, FHAs, to get a mortgage. And the type of properties we buy as wholesalers, if you're buying properties that need to be sold, most of them aren't going to qualify for a regular home mortgage. Not in every case scenario, but like that's a good rule of thumb. Does everybody understand that? So the reason why I know this program right here doesn't work anymore, I can't find any more courses on it. All the courses have run dry, which means it doesn't work. If it was a good course and a good program, it would still be marketed every day. Oh my God, it was a fad. It was a bell. It was a whistle. You're right. Inventory was low and then they run it up. And you won't see the last of this course. Trust me, it'll reboot. It'll be called Agent Pitch or some ridiculous thing. And I just find it funny, the whole thing. Now, once again, I'm not opposed to working with agents. I'm opposed to people marketing to brand new wholesalers that this is your strategy. And why mess with regular wholesalers when you can pick stuff off of MLS? I should have thought of this 24 years ago. Oh my God, what's going on? So guys, and any feedback you want to put on this, anyone who's done these courses, I would love to hear from you because God knows I hear from you all the time on the lives about it. I just want to help anybody else I can't. With them. So here's a comment on this, and I appreciate it, Joseph. Agent outreaches know the point of agent outreach is to make connections with them, be able to work together on other deals to make them have the tool in there. But here's the problem, Joseph. The courses have all gone away. The people that support the courses have stopped doing it. How good is it if nobody wants it anymore? That's my problem. I'm perfectly fine forming a relationship with a realtor, but calling 100 to 500 realtors when you just started out in wholesaling is one of the worst strategies I've ever heard. You have no credibility. You don't even talk the walk. And Joseph, I appreciate the comment. I'm just telling you, I don't train this in my own company because it doesn't work. I take my senior level people and we find the cash buying real estate agents, but taking a regular real estate agent is a complete waste of time in wholesaling. Why? If not, show me how many deals you've done doing that strategy. And because I look at the data, I look at the money, but most of us just look at the marketing. And guys, this is recorded. There's no problem with it. Hold on. Oh Lord. Okay. I'm just giving you the honest opinion on it. I've been doing this business 24 years. There's only been about a 2 or 3 year run. I would say go all in on MLS. And that was the hardest real estate crash we've seen in the last 75 years since they've kept the data. Does everybody understand that? Hold on one second. Okay. So if we know that, I'm just trying to help you guys out with it. I don't want you to create the same problem. So, okay, let's keep going. I got to get through the ghost of the 2020, 25 wholesaling. What's next? I'd like a drum roll on this. This one just drove me nuts. And all these things. So you'll find like an agent's like coaching course will always reconcile when inventory is low. Everybody understand. Once inventory goes up and interest rate goes stagnant, and like it's done and over with. Here's the next one. Retail wholesale. Now I'm not picking on the specific course. It actually works. I've looked at it. But here's the problem. When you put the word retail and wholesale together, you have such a nightmare of a mix. That means you're going to have so much legal paperwork mixed up in there. It's going to be out of control. Now, fundamentally, if you understand how wholesaling works, we buy low and sell medium. This strategy takes your wholesale deals and moves them from medium to high. Well, Rick, how do I do that since I never take title? I'm glad you asked that question. You're going to have to manipulate a lot of paperwork. And there's a reason why this is only taught through private courses behind scenes for big dollars, because most of it would never fly if all the disclosures were actually nailed. Now, I don't do this. I just disagree going against wholesale philosophy. If I want to buy low and sell medium, the problem is products like this encourage you to buy medium and then sell high because we can fix it. But that's going to be a house of cards because right now you can't sell high. Markets are stagnant right now. Interest rates are high. Inventory is climbing, and it's a real challenge right now. So if you don't buy low, you don't even have a shot at selling a medium. How are you going to sell it high? And so this encourages a fix and flip mentality. Don't get this mixed up with wholetailing. Wholetailing is basically buying low and selling medium high without ever taking title to the property and minimizing your risk, all in under 90 days. This strategy is going to require financing, all sorts of massive risk. Once again, has nothing to do with wholesaling. Now, there is a time this can work, but eventually you're going to get caught. That's why these products have disappeared. They'll work for brief moments, but the problem is you are not in control because it's what the property will retail for. What sets the retail value of a property? Interest rates, market demand, supply levels, days on market. Once we get outside of the wholesaling factor, you're at massive risk. That's why I don't encourage fix and flip. Why? You ever notice people do fix and flip and they stop? It's because they get burnt and then they have to wait till the market conditions reset, which reminds you, Why would you do a business where there's certain elements you have zero control over? And if more than 50% of the value in that business is dictated by the outcome of what the market desires, you're in trouble. And that's why wholesaling is so attractive to most people. So don't mix this up with wholetailing. I'm here to tell you it's not. Wholetailing is basically when you take a property, you buy it very low and you sell it for medium high, but you still have the option of selling it for medium. When you do the retail strategy on wholesale, you have to sell it for high. Is the only way to make the numbers work. And what are you going to do if it doesn't sell for high? Yeah, you're right. You're in big trouble. So everybody understand that? I think we got it I think we got it there. It just, here's the problem is these courses have stopped selling because they're too complicated. There's too many hoops you got to jump through. And to be honest with you, if you put this course in a beginner's hands, I see nothing but lawsuits and nightmares. Nothing but lawsuits and nightmares. So I'm not ignoring you guys. We're here for Christmas. I got it. But we're talking about wholesaling because we got to live past Christmas too. So the next one, this one's just gone. Like, and what I'm trying to teach you guys is the lesson is if you get away from the fundamentals, you chase all these shiny objects. And the purpose of them is some of them work in brief moments, but you constantly got to get on that hamster wheel and they don't last because you're not in control. And if you're not in control, you are not wholesaling. Let me give you another example. The Burr method. Now, I'm not even opposed to the strategy. It only survives in low interest rate markets. I even did this in the beginning of my wholesaling when I didn't even understand what I was doing. But the Burr method, just so you guys understand, if you do not buy low, there is no Burr. It means buy, rehab, rent, and refinance. But there's a lot of costs that go in there. If you don't buy low, you don't have a shot. In the old days, one of my strategies was, and I was taught this by an old timer, is I would buy a house for $100,000 that was worth 180, didn't need a ton of work. And then basically, I would clean it up. I would use hard money to fund it. Yeah, that's what I did a long time ago. And then basically after I seasoned it for 90 days, I'd put a renter in there. And then after 90 days, I would refinance it. And so if it appraised at 170, let me do some math, say 175, and they would give me 70 cents on the dollar. That basically allowed me to pull about, it was, they give you 122.5, back out about $5,000 in crap costs because it's going to cost you that. I would take 15,000 out, which is basically my assignment fee. And then I would produce cash every month. Now I still had a mortgage and a loan to pay. But guys, that's pretty cool when you can do a cash out like that. And remember, the cash out, depending on how you do it, is debt. And it's a loan and you don't have to pay taxes on it. Now, not everyone knows how to do this. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do it. You can't do it in today's environment. You can't. The interest rates are just too high. So Burr was very exciting at 2.5 to 4 and 5% mortgages. In my opinion, anything above a 5 just doesn't make financial sense on it. I'm talking about doing it instantly, not over time. That's a whole different strategy. But if you want to make money, because if you do it right now, all you're going to do is give all your money to service providers, banks, and insurance companies. That's how bad it is. And Burrs only come out when the market's going good and interest rates are low. Now, I'll give you Burrs last over the long run, but it's not a wholesale strategy because there are significant expenses when you do it. And let's face it, not everybody wants to get in the wholesaling and do a rental property. I would advise this if you had low interest rates, you bought the property low, you can temporarily finance and pull the money out. But remember, I didn't put the hard money cost in there. So I probably netted about 12, 13 grand when I did it. And remember, I got to pay on that debt for the next 30 years. So you got to be responsible and use the money for higher and better things. But most of you take that money and spend it on courses to learn how to do the Burr method. That's why I don't like it. So, okay, let me check the comments here. I appreciate that, David. Thank you. Gabi says, which wholesaling teaches you how to buy? So wholesaling is the art of buying properties low. So I'm going to share a little, I'm going to scroll it on the bottom here. Go over to freewholesaling.com. That's right. Santa came here. He's giving you a gift. He's checking you twice because some of you guys, I'm going to put novations. I'm going to put like agent touches. Instead of putting coal, I'm going to put that in your stocking because it doesn't work. So we're doing the Ghost of Christmas Past, and I appreciate you guys. I don't know what that means, but just keep commenting here. Okay, let's keep going here. Now, this part gets fun here. Ready? All right. I'm getting rid of all the stuff that doesn't work. We got to get rid of it. Let's see. Oh Lord, I don't even want to put this one up there because I feel like I'm going to get eaten alive on it. What the hell? Let's just go for it. The day before, it's the day before Christmas Eve. What bad could happen, right? PPL. It stands for pay per lead. It's also, I call it pay per lawsuit. And guys, here's the problem with PPL. Honestly, me and Zach stayed away from it for a long time because we knew having other people call and produce a lead sounds wonderful in theory, doesn't it? Here's the problem with pay per lead. It's presented to you like it's this incredible marketing machine. And here's the truth of the matter. I'm just going to tell you how it is. And I don't even find fault in these companies. It's actually a brilliant strategy. They've made millions and millions of dollars on you guys. Most PPL companies have no history of ever wholesaling, especially here in the United States. But they understand marketing and they understand the biggest need for wholesalers is marketing. So they've exploited us. How do they exploit us? What if I did all the marketing for you and you just focus on acquisitions and selling your deals? Sign me up. And that's what most people do. Here's the problem. The churn in PPL is like 98, 99%. Why? Because you constantly have to have fresh blood coming in the door to buy them because nobody does it as a long-term strategy. And the only people that are going to do it as a long-term strategy, they have to be provided the leads for free. That's why you see a lot of people that promote it. I don't blame them. If I got 30, 40 leads free, I'd sit on the phone all day and call. By the way, I've never been paid by a PPL company. If someone's got proof, please show it to me. The problem is there's no return on investment. There's some return, but it's a crapshoot. It's like going to Vegas and pulling the slot machines. They got to have one winner every now and then to keep people excited about it, and that's great. So how many leads do they actually sell? How many people actually buy the leads? Like, do you really think of exclusive leads bought by one person? How do you know other than a website? You don't know. And that leads to me, my next problem is there's no transparency in PPL. Now, maybe, hopefully in 2026, some companies decide to clean this up. What do I mean by that? How did you derive the lead? Why is it such a mystery how we got the lead? Number two, did you specifically, your company, create the lead? Did your employees on your payroll produce the lead? Yes or no? Why is that important? Because here's the reality of most PPL companies. They just broker the leads. I don't even blame them. It's a brilliant, honestly, they're wholesaling you. And when they wholesale you, there's no transparency because if it was transparent, if you find out 3, 5, or 10 other wholesalers are calling on the same lead, would you have bought it? You probably wouldn't have. And then there's this constant game on price. Do I have to join this group? Do I have to be in this membership? How do I get a premium lead? Oh, you got to pay for that. You got to pay top dollar. And some of these leads are $200 or $300. And once again, we have no timestamp on them. We have no voice recording of an MP3. There's a reason they don't give that to you, because if they did, that would expose to multiple wholesalers that bought the same lead. That's why you're probably going to get a transcript or some paper thing instead of the actual file. And I promise you this, they didn't call on behalf of your company, which leads me to the next thing is, what are you going to do when you call someone that's on that list and you get a litigator on the other side and they go, listen, you broke TCPA. You're paying me one way or the other. Now, most of you are just going to hang up and go, hey, what do I do? These people don't go away. I know this personally. And the problem is, here's what most of you think, well, I bought it from this company, so I'm protected. Are you? You're not. You're the one that made a call. you're the one that's going to be on the hook. If they want to take that company down or not, that's their choice. And that company's probably going to tell you to settle with them because they need to keep that good thing going. So the whole thing is like, it's a giant house. It's not even a house of cards. This has been going on for about 4 or 5 years. It's all coming to a head right now. Here's the bottom line, guys. You need to take control of your marketing. When it comes to PPL, if you do not originate your own leads or someone doesn't call on behalf of your company, you're at risk of a lawsuit. And guys, it doesn't take much because these people, they know how to do it. I've watched it. We've gone through it. I've watched countless people go through it. It's why we've shifted how we do not really do this type of marketing. The last one is, how much money do I have to spend to get a PPL deal done? Don't look at me. Go online. Look at the people that promote it. Not me. I watched somebody go online the last couple of weeks. I want to say they called 15 or 20 of their most premium leads, not even a sniff of a deal. Now, if I had to pay $150 for each one of those leads, which is what the average going for the premium, so for 15 leads, I would have to spend $2,250 for a big goose egg. Dude, that hurts. I don't care who it is. And the reason why they're calling is, you have to understand, they're getting it for free because they're getting paid by the PPL companies. And this is the problem. Guys, at the end of the day, you need to be responsible for your marketing. You don't have to do it forever, but if you don't understand what the return on the investment is, you're going to keep spending money till you run out of money or you just get fed up. That's why there's such a huge turnover rate. Don't believe me. Go ask out anybody who's been wholesaling for any length of time. What percentage of business comes from PPL? Now, some of them do a small amount, which is fine. Not one of them depend on it more than like 50%. And you have to understand. So if you understand that, that's why I'm going back through past methods. It's had a good run, guys, but the lack of transparency. How come nobody in the PPL business tells you what your return on your investment is? If they gave you the numbers, you all would fall out of your chairs. And that's just the truth of the business. Now, I'm not knocking it. They've taken advantage of a great opportunity, but the problem is there's been a lot of steps skipped to make sure they're compliant. And this is going to be the challenge going into 2026. If you guys are going to buy these leads separately like that, it's going to be. So here's the challenge, Joseph. Tell me what anyone's return on investment is. You can't. Direct mail, 5 to 6 times is my return on investment. It's 100%. Even PPC, if you put in the time and the effort, which is exhausting, thousands of hours, you can calculate a return on investment. PPL, I've yet to meet anyone that can give me that calculation. Why? Because nobody's made it work yet. Now, I've seen some people get really lucky. It is what it is. Here's the bottom line, guys. If you don't derive your own leads, or you think, oh, I'm going to pay this company, I don't have to mess with marketing, you're missing the fundamentals of wholesaling. He or she that skips marketing is going to be taken advantage of every time, because marketing is the number one skill set you can learn in all of wholesaling, bar none. So PPLs came in and they filled this void, and people have gotten away with a lot. And now there's a lot more competition, a lot of lawsuits flying, guys. I'm just telling you, if you call on those leads and you think you're going to get protection from some other company, I would get that in writing, and I would get it with a wet blue ink sign. And it really doesn't mean anything because a lot of these companies operate outside of the United States. So they're not at like massive risk, but I'll give you alternatives to do that. But it's just, we've tried and tried. So I bet we don't do the dollar leads anymore just for this reason alone. You understand that? Like we're just honest with it. When we know something doesn't work, we stop. And the thing is, we got, I think, 18 contracts off of it. So that works. The problem is all about compliances. So what do I mean by this? If you make a phone call, say you buy a lead from somebody, I don't call it whatever, lukewarm lead or whatever, you make that call. If there's a litigator, and by the way, they set you guys all up, the average settlement, just so you know, is anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 settlement. If you go to court, you have zero shot of probably winning. And you're going to have to hire a lawyer. You're going to spend exactly that amount in a legal defense on it. That's the problem. There's no transparency in PPO. Does everybody understand that? So if you don't know where the leads derive from, you don't know who derived them, you don't know the date they were produced, and you have no MP3 recording, you are in the worst position when a litigator hits you. So here's how the rules of kind of just the basic fundamentals of TCPA. If you don't produce your own leads or document how you did the process, you're 100% at risk. So do you guys know anything about PPL companies, how they produce? They don't produce their own leads. They buy them from, they don't even buy them from other people. They broker them. And that's the challenge. It's a brilliant business plan. I don't even fault them for doing it because they have no repercussions for it. But if I have all the repercussions as the wholesaler and I paid for it and I didn't get a return on investment, why am I going to go into 2026 trying this crazy strategy? Okay, let's keep moving. Because we got to go over the stuff that actually works. So I'm going to throw one up here. This one's definitely going to be controversial. I have no opinion about other gurus in the industry. In fact, most of them are great people behind the scenes. On scenes, we disagree with a lot of stuff, and that's fine. I've been doing this 24 years. I don't need for people to agree with me. My business stands for itself. The training I've done with my son stands for itself. All the deals I've done, all my business partners, all the real estate I own stands on its own. Everybody get that, right? So I'm just going to show you a fact here. Have you noticed a trend in 2025? Have you noticed that things are getting lighter? We're going to talk about some of these issues. I'm going to show you the solve with the TCPA and all that stuff. Don't worry about it. Have you noticed on YouTube things have gotten a lot lighter? Less people are talking about, I'm going to go on the greener pastures. I'm retiring. I've decided to do something other than wholesaling. Dude, read between the lines. Now, listen, if you're old like me and you want to retire, God forbid retire. If I say I retire, it's just because I'm old and I'm tired of wholesaling for so long. I'm not there yet. And I'll let you know when that happens. But guys, here's the reality is all of a sudden, gurus are exiting the stage left. I've never seen so many gurus, influencers, wholesaler trainers, coaches, mentors, whatever. I've never seen so many leave in 2025. This reminds me a lot of 2008, 2009. It's remember, history doesn't repeat itself, but damn well sure as rhymes, right? And I've seen the biggest exodus in 2025. The people and great people too. I love them all. I want everybody to stay in. I don't think there can be too many, but why would you leave a business that's successful, profitable, doing great? The reality is most of them have given up on selling courses. Number one, probably because of freewholesaling.com. Remember, 5 years ago, all these people told me it would never work. I'm still standing. You're leaving. Number one. Number two, why would you not give credit to the business that changed your life? Think about this. If you ever had a teacher or a coach or even a parent, a grandma or a grandpa that reached out and said something to you and really believed in you and shook you to your core to get you on the path to becoming a great person, you tend to owe them. Like you feel like you owe them. And I don't understand why everybody turns their back on wholesaling. I actually heard somebody say that I think it's unethical now. Unethical now. Oh, but it was ethical enough for you to make millions and millions of dollars. And on top of it, to sell $20, $30 million of coaching. It was ethical then, but now you're retiring. It's not ethical. Give me a frickin' break. I'm pulling back. I'm not going to do as much videos. Dude, I'm doubling down on everything, man. If I'm telling you, you've got to like be in the game and like just keep going. Why would I do any different? And I don't understand why so many people are leaving. I've heard the word retiring. Okay, I get it. That means a whole new wave of people coming in. So when courses stop selling, people start leaving the business. You notice a pattern here? We're getting ready to go full circle. And here's the best part is 2026 is going to be all about the fundamentals. Because, baby, I'm telling you this, the fundamentals are back. They are 100% back, because if it doesn't work in the core fundamentals, it can't survive. It's called evolution. Every one of these strategies I've showed you have died, and they've died for a reason, because they only work during incredible real estate times. Wholesaling works in all markets. And somehow we've parlayed wholesaling up with all these other strategies that have nothing to do with it. Every one of those strategies I just showed you are pure speculation plays. And when the market's not as good as like it's been the last 10 years, they don't work. So why would someone keep buying a course on something that's not working with horrible reviews? So once they run out of courses to sell, they're like, crap, I just have to sell wholesaling. Fine, signed, sell a great wholesaling course. Help people. That's what me and Zach do. I'll teach you for free. I have paid people, and then I have people that I work with directly and I own properties with. But the minute you decide to get out when the market's down, I don't believe one word out of your mouth. I'm sorry. He says, leave at the top, right? Do a Tom Brady. And even Tom Brady didn't leave at the top. He went on to the Tampa Bay and whatever. Brett Favre didn't leave at the top. He went to the Jets, probably the worst place you can go. And don't even get me started on Aaron Rodgers. But the reality is wholesaling is never about timing the market. Timing the market to leave means because something's not working anymore. It's typically going to be tied to a course. It's just the truth, guys. And what this does is it drives the principle that the fundamentals of wholesaling will survive any market. Now, you can put all this posh stuff. And by the way, when the market picks back up again, whatever time frame that is, you're going to see a resurgence of products. You're going to see a new wave of gurus come through, and we're going to do it all over again. You know why? Because I've been doing this since 2003. I've watched this cycle over and over, and it's just like, now here's the good news. In 2026, inventory is going up. Interest rates are still stagnant. A lot of negative news coming about real estate market, guys. So when people are leaving, like the people that taught all these courses that I just showed you, remember the ones that stay. Those are the ones that actually work in wholesaling. And those are the ones you should be paying attention to. Anybody can make a ton of money. Listen, I'm going to give you a fact. From 2013 to 2022, you could have taken my cat and she would have been a phenomenal wholesaler, because you could get away with speculation. The longest run of speculation I've ever seen in real estate. And according to my numbers, the most I've seen in the last 75 years. Those days are over, guys. That was a freak of nature. And all these people that were on stages and selling these courses and had these incredible YouTube followings, they're all irrelevant now because they don't wholesale. They don't understand the basic fundamentals of wholesaling. They think it's too boring. It's not sexy. And all I sit here is pound the basics into you guys, because I'm only going to teach you what works. I can sit here and chase all this other. It's just, I've tried every one of them. They're all a huge distraction. They'll destroy your business, your life, and it's crazy. And I want you to understand it. So let's go in and let's dive in and let's talk about what actually works. So everybody see this right here? It's so vice versa when you're on the camera. Fundamentals. We're back to fundamentals. If you stick to fundamentals in 2026, you'll win. Please, on those other strategies, you can do it, but understand the survival rate is almost zero. Now, I'm going to tell you, I did not put creative financing on there because I love creative financing. But I strongly believe creative financing in a new investor's hands with zero wholesaling experience as a primary income is setting people up for disaster. Why? I've met a lot of people that have taken a lot of courses that own 50, 75, 100 creative financing deals, and they're all going to a JOB. That's all I need to know. I already know you're broke. Oh, but I on paper, I'm worth $5 million. No, you're not. The loan's not in your name on half of them. And number two, what is your cash flow? What is your obligations? Because owning properties work. Now, I love creative financing. I just don't believe it belongs in the newbie's hands. And We've seen an incredible run up on it. I think that will work itself out in the long run. There's a reason I don't put paperwork. I don't put a lot of strategies because it's very specific to each state. Like Texas is very different than Florida. Every state has specifics, and you have to make sure you follow them. You got to make sure you're doing the right paperwork. So there is no one size that fits all. And I believe you should not have to borrow money to get in a creative financing deal. I think you should make money up front. You should make money in the middle in your cash flow, and you should make money at the end. Creative financing is an incredible strategy. I'm not here to like this on it, but the amount of traffic I've seen in creative financing, particularly in subject to, is concerning because remember, 95% of all mortgages are derived from Fannie and Freddie. And all they got to do is stroke one pen to make subject twos illegal. And think about this. We're taking over people's debt with their name still on the mortgage. And when you put it in a newbie's hands and they buy 20 or 30 properties and they default on every one of them, it leaves our entire industry with a black eye. Now, it's not the person's fault that taught it, but you got to be responsible by not doing marketing ads saying skip wholesaling, just do creative financing. I believe they can work hand in hand. Wholesaling creates cash. Creative financing creates long-term net worth availability. I teach all my partners when we go into a deal, there's 3 years before we're even going to consider doing any payouts. I prefer 5 years. I love creative financing for holding properties and building net worth. But somehow this little strategy came along that we're going to assign subject twos. I think it's reckless and it's dangerous in the wrong hands. An experienced person, fine. An inexperienced person, you leave the homeowner at risk. And remember, our obligation is always to the homeowner. And if you don't do right by them and you wind up putting them in foreclosure in a worse situation than when you met them, shame on you. I'm just going to leave it there. I love creative financing. I just need the pressure to get off because I believe we're being looked at from all angles. I will tell you this. I believe creative financing is getting more pressure than actual wholesaling legislation. But nobody wants to address it, and I don't know why. Every time I have a deal, the amount of people that call me that want to buy my property subject to or something like that, I've never seen such a high activity level. And most of the people I've talked to, they've talked to my staff, they've never even done a deal before. And they paid an enormous amount of money to learn this strategy. And you know what they all said? I don't want to do wholesaling. It sounds too hard. Well, sometimes you just have to do the hard to get what you want in life. There are no shortcuts, guys. I can tell you. Okay. We're going to talk about like all this stuff. A lot of some of you guys are worrying about way too much. Let's talk about what works and then we'll take some questions here. So real quick, I'm just gave you my opinion. That's it. And it stops there. I know not everyone's going to agree with me, but you got to go back to fundamentals, guys. So number one, if you don't have a deal, you don't have anything, you don't have any money, go over to freewholesaling.com. Let me put this on the bottom so everybody can see it. Freewholesaling.com. And when you go over there, it will show you everything. And then, of course, my phone rings during that. You got to start with government list. These, honestly, going into 2026, these are some of the most easy, motivated leads you'll ever deal with. Getting the leads is going to be a bit of a challenge, and you got to work through that. So understanding government lists are always going to be an impeccable part of your core of wholesaling. The government does the work for you, and they're some of the most motivated. You need properties that are off market, direct to seller that needs to sell. Everybody understand that? Now we're going to keep graduating up here, and I'm going to show you other things and show you the evolution of it. So start with a good core, which is your government list. And guys, that's probates, pre-foreclosures, everything. They're dynamite leads. And I don't need to go over tax delinquencies. Obviously, these people most likely need to sell and they have motivation. The next step is if you can afford, get a basic account. It's only $81 if you do the prepaid for the year. $81, you get all your marketing, 25,000 leads. You can pull any leads you want. You can vacants, you can do probates in there. Absolutely everything. You can skip trace them. It's unlimited. You get an entire CRM built through Go High Level. Most of you pay $100 separately for that per month. You can do e-signing in there. You can use AI automations in your SMS, your emails, and even phone work. Guys, 70% of your follow-ups 70% of your deals come from your follow-up. If you know you have to do volume in an incredible amount, how are you going to manage a couple 100,000 leads without some sort of robust system like XLeads? It's going to be impossible. And honestly, you're going to have to integrate AI, and XLeads is completely founded around the wrap of AI. You have to have automated processes. We have to do it. So, okay, the next one, and this will answer a lot of the questions, guys. Cold call centers for your business. So we do recommendations through our joinm2m.com, where you can register with a legitimate cold call company. They are going to onboard you. It takes about 7 to 10 days to do it. They're going to find out about your company. They're going to want to know your company's information, the name of the company, the LLC, and everything. They want to know who represents your company. And then you're going to work with them and cultivate your own list, hopefully in XLeads, but whichever service you want to do. And then you pick the market. It's market specific. You pick the type of list, and then you have a cold caller that's full time. It's basically 40 hours a week, and you can derive 40 to 50 leads a month on it. I don't do guarantees, but they go, oh, Rick, wait a minute, I'm going to get sued. No, listen to me. They're calling on behalf of your company. So if I'm Treasure Coast Home Buyers, I'm calling on behalf of Treasure Coast Home Buyers, and we have an agreement to do that, and I pay them full time to do it. I derived the lead. I cultivated the lead. I have 100% transparency on how I got the lead. I have a recording of my company being introduced on that lead, and I have a timestamp. And here's my favorite part. The whole damn thing's exclusive to me. It sounds pretty dang compliant. Now, does it solve it 100%? No. But the reality is, if you got hit with a litigator on that, where are they going to go? You derived your own lead. You have proof. Most people don't have this. PPL, none of it. You'll never get it from a PPL company. There's a reason for it. But remember, they're not on the hook. You're on the hook because they transferred the lead to you. Do you think a company, I don't think they really care they get sued, especially if they're outside the United States. I know they're doing business in the US and they got to have reputable companies, but you can't go after someone's asset that's not in the United States. So by using your own cold call center, not only do you buy your time back, you get leads uploaded in your XLeads account. You're about as foolproof as you can get compliancy without you actually getting the lead, like personally driving to their house and getting it. It's as close as you can get, guys. Nothing's 100%. But I promise you, when you buy a company from like a PPL company or a third party, or you buy one of these bulk lists and you call on those, the more calls you make, the more likely it is you're going to have a problem. And problems cost money. If you think marketing is expensive, wait till you get into a lawsuit. They're absolutely brutal. And keep in mind, if someone decides to go after you for TCPA, they can make it personal, meaning they'll go past your corporate veil and they'll go after you personally. And that's what I don't like about it. So this is the problem. I can't get any PPL company. Any of these companies will never step up and say, I have 100% guarantee for you. If you get sued, we'll cover you, because they can't. It would be a ludicrous proposition. So we don't provide those types of leads because we need full transparency to protect ourselves and to protect you, the individuals. Everybody understand that? That's the reason we're doing that. So the next one, let me check comments here and I'll keep going. Okay. The next one, this is going to be super hot for 2026. Direct mail. Why? It's scalable. It's 100% legal, and you have no lawsuit issues, zero. Is it a little pricey? Yes, but if you know how to do it, I train specifically. Somebody's asking about M2M. We have a program called joinm2m.com, and we have a community where you have 3 live calls a week. I take my best people that are actually business partners. I've taught the entire business 3 years plus, and they help teach you guys because I can only touch so many people. Now I'm involved, but I have a direct hand on everything they do say. And these guys, they're amazing. And I got more people coming in. We want to help more people with it. And we create systems just like this. And we're going to be doing much deeper dives on direct mail. Full disclosure, direct mail, I want you to have at least 3 deals under your pipe before you even consider this option. But I tell you what, you sleep really good at night with direct mail, and direct mail is going... Think about direct mail has been around since I've survived 2003. So I already know it passed the fundamental wholesaling test. So you should take note. Now, if you don't have money, I don't want you starting out with that strategy. I just want to make it available to you. And guys, JVing with the amount of deals we're doing nationwide, we depend on JVs to get our deals sold all over the country. It's not a bad strategy if you're going to do virtual wholesaling because you can control that part. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little slow. Just go into 2026 and stop trying to avoid marketing because it's put a lot of you guys in pickles. Some of you guys are in coaching programs where their only lead source is PPL. Where do you go with that? Like, does that person part of the lawsuit too? It's absolutely insanity if you think about it. Think about this. All the things you guys have done to try to avoid the task of marketing has come full circle now. All those strategies I just showed you. Let me just run you through the crash course here. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Novations pretty much done. I know you can still do them, but there's a reason why they're failing so massively, more than 50%. Agent outreach, good luck with that in this market. It only works in a speculator's market, and we're out of that one. Retail, sell your wholesale deal retail, works in a speculator's market. We're out of that one. Instant retirement of gurus all of a sudden means the courses aren't selling anymore. I got to find another way to make money. And don't even get me started on PPL. We already know where that. There's no transparency. There's no ROI. And I call it pay per lawsuit. That's just the truth of it, guys. Fundamentals, baby. You've got to be in the fundamentals because if you don't do the fundamentals, you are going to get killed in 2026. I promise you on that. So knowing that, guys, let me jump in. I wanted to give, well, let's see here. I want to clear some stuff off here. Let me clear my screen. I want to show you something. I want to let you guys know that we have something coming out in January that I think you guys are going to be really interested. We have a scheduled date of January 12th. Hopefully the whole team comes together and gets that. But we have the version 4 of X Leads will be released January 12th. We have like two features on there I think are going to be so incredible, so invaluable. We've been working with it over a year. We've spent a lot of money on it, and I think you guys are going to love it. It definitely involves AI, and it is a faster way to do something that you guys have struggled with. And I'm just going to leave it there because I'm not allowed to say anymore because Zach will kill me. And I'm excited about it. So January 12th will be the release on that. And I want everybody to understand that. And I think you guys are looking forward to it. You'll love it. So we're trying not to change prices too much. You're safe if you buy X Leads in 2025. I don't do this hype buy now and then, we're going to take it away. But at some point, some things do have to change. So just keep that in mind. So January 12th, that'll be coming out. And so let's see here. So this is why I don't like to overly talk about this stuff because people not sure I understand. Does doing my own cold calling on a government? No, because you're deriving your own leads. So you can go look up the most recent lawsuit, Coffee versus whatever state. He won because we're not selling anything. The problem is when you buy the lead from somebody else, then you're out of the loop. You have no proof that you connected with them. So you're fine on that one. So, Eric, hey, I appreciate the comment, but it says, I'm far behind the live right now. I think Butt Novation's working just fine. You think? See, I don't run a business off how I feel. So Eric, I appreciate the comment, but you think there were either they are or they aren't. So Eric, do me a favor, post how many novations you've done and give me the profit level and share data with us. But things like I think, or I heard, or it should, wish list stuff, guys. You will it does not work in wholesaling. I'm just telling you the bare truth and the facts of how this business works. And we need to understand. I'm not picking on you, Eric. Actually, I appreciate your comment. And I know you're running a little bit behind on the live stream. That's fine with it. But put it in the notes and I will still check. So on this one, so you understand, when you derive your own leads, you call on it, you're the direct to the seller. The case law has been proven in 2025. The most recent one is you're not selling anything. So you don't have to comply with it. The problem is when you do it through a third party company, then you hand the torch over and now you are liable. Does everybody understand that? That's the basic case premises behind those laws. I'm not a lawyer. You need to talk to a lawyer, but I'm here to tell you. As Mark says, feelings over facts. Easier said than done, though. It's true. So, guys, I'm not calling out particular companies. Here is what I need you to understand. If you can't verify where the lead came from, is it cold call? Is it PPC? Is it a referral from a realtor? That's going to be an issue. PPL companies don't want you to know where the lead comes from because 99% of them are brokered. What's a brokered lead? It's a tired, cold called lead. Now, some of them are fresh and they skip to the list and you pay a lot of money for those. Remember, the reason why they can give you refunds is because it's not their money. Meaning, if they didn't even buy the lead, they're just partnering up on them. So it's a dirty little secret, but the secret's like, guys, I showed you how the coaching industry worked. I've showed you how the software industry works. PPL, I gave them a shot. I found the dirty truth about it. It's just, it is what it is. It is a pipe dream to think that someone else can do the marketing for you and they just hand you motivated sellers in your pipeline. You will get them, but if you do it in the long run, you will not get a return on your investment. And here's the problem. When you call and you get a litigator on the line, meaning someone that threatens to sue you, and by the way, you guys think they're not lawyers. They're people that know what they're doing. They're going to come after you with everything they got. Their threats are usually pretty real. And I'm just telling you, you can go to these other companies, hey, I'm being threatened, but I guarantee those companies are going to try to help you negotiate it down, and they'll probably give you the money to sell it because they don't want to get exposed either. I don't want anyone to get sued, even my rivals. Nobody likes lawsuits and lawyers. And that's not my purpose. My purpose is to let you know when you go outside of your business and you don't control the marketing, you're at liberty to whatever they're doing. And if they're not complying with the law, you can be at risk. You can be at risk, and that's it. So what's up, Choice? Great guy. I've met him in person. So you got to understand, PropStream's not cold calling for you. And going to public courthouse, you're getting your own data. That's fine. It's when you get cold call leads from other companies that don't tell you they're cold call leads and they expose you. I promise you, if they told you that up front, you guys would probably still buy it. It's just the truth, guys. It's a dirty secret. I have a good friend that right now is being sued because they bought a lead from one of these companies and they're being left to hang out to dry. They've done the full lawyer, the whole line, just one lead, one special lead. And he said, if I knew that at the time, I would have never done this. And that's the problem. I'm just trying to let you know. I don't want anyone to get sued. I hate it. I'm trying to help avoid lawsuits for my competitors and for you guys. You guys buying these ones in bulk, handwriting on the wall, why we stop certain practices, because it's not responsible. And it's so funny. People who actually tell you wholesaling is just, it's becoming illegal and stuff. All of a sudden, they're all on board and selling you guys every lead under the sun. And by the way, I promise you, they're brokering the leads. And I love when people say they're doing their own cold calls. That's fine. You just got to prove that in court. You can say whatever you want on the internet, but when a lawsuit comes up, you'll have to show them how they don't make their own cold calls. Nobody does. You can hire a company on your behalf, but when you get it from a third-party company, it's an overseas cold call center. They batch these giant lists and they sell them for pennies on the dollar. You guys know most of the $200-$300 leads you buy are like 20, 30 cents is what they pay for them. It's nuts. So let me see if I can answer. What else was on here? I don't want to sit here like I don't want to do fear mongering. I just don't want you to get sued. Does everybody understand that? I'm all about skirting the edge. Don't get me wrong. But like, if we know we're going to be put in the crosshairs of a litigator, I'm going to do my best to help you avoid doing it. Making your old cold calls, you're fine. If you're hiring your own cold call center representing your company and you have a voice recording of that, you're fine. If you're going to buy a PPL lead and you know nothing about it, God bless you. Because not only I think you're going to get a bad return on your investment, meaning you're going to have to spend $10,000 to $20,000 to get one lead, which is a horrible return. Nobody will ever share with you what the return on investment is. And when people are quiet, it means it's bad. When it's good, people sing from the rooftops. So guys, I've been in this business since 2003. And there's a reason why I try to avoid. I just don't like things that come and go. And that's my problem with PPL. It's definitely handwriting's on the wall. I hope it gets straightened out. Maybe they'll be more transparent. Maybe they'll open their own cold call centers, have their own employees. Wouldn't that be great? Or maybe they'll call on behalf of your company and that would solve the problem. But once again, I'm just one guy. So text blasting, like as long as you comply with the A2P and all that other stuff, I believe you're fine with it. So guys, listen, guys, regardless if we call and call. So here's the problem with TCPA. It requires you to derive your own leads. Once you buy one, you're out of the protection scope. Do you understand that? That's the problem. I'm telling you, I'm watching a physical lawsuit as we speak. I've listened in with the lawyers and everything. The problem is once you derive and you don't have proof that you derived the lead, you're 100% vulnerable. I don't want anyone to get sued, but I'm just telling you, the whole idea was using a PPL company is to outsource your marketing, which is a terrible idea to begin with. Think about it. It's sexy. It sounds super good. That's why it sells so well. But imagine if you do that, you don't get a good return on your investment and you get sued on top of it. I'm not guaranteeing a lawsuit. I'm not. I'm just telling you it's susceptible to it. So guys, I want to wish everybody on here a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy New Year. I'll be on here before we do that. And guys, please don't fall asleep this week. Start working towards 2026 right now. And if you've learned anything from this live, you're going to have to focus on 2026 on the fundamentals of wholesaling because all the fads, all the tricks, they're gone. The reason they're gone is because they don't work. That's how evolution works. That's how it's supposed to work. So take the cues from it and learn. From a guy who's been doing this 24 years now, things are cyclical and it'll come around again. 2026, I think, is going to be one of the best years for wholesaling, and I want everyone to take advantage of it. So guys, do me a favor. If you've got a benefit from this live stream, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, guys. I do appreciate you guys. Please have a very Merry Christmas. Be safe out there. Spend time with your family. And honestly, the best gift you can give to your family is your time. Be present. Put these damn phones down, guys. Go out and sing a Christmas carol and just celebrate your family because we don't know what tomorrow carries. We just got to take advantage of today. So be present. Have gratitude for everything you have in your life. I'm very grateful for all the time you guys have given me, that I connect with you. I've met so many guys in person, and I'm super excited about 2026. So I'm a family man. You know how I am with my son. I've been married 30 years. I love family. Family's got your back, even though they can be a pain in the butt. We need to love them. We need to cherish them because I understand more than anybody that nothing is guaranteed. And we need to take that time and spend it. I love wholesaling because it gives me the opportunity to spend more time with you guys and my family. But don't forget it. Even when they're driving you nuts, even when your mom's like pushing you, she does it because she loves you. And I want you guys to understand that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And guys, Merry Christmas. Have a great time out there. Don't overdo it. Don't overeat. And make sure you come back and get to work. So guys, have a good one.